Welcome to Cinematic Literary Tales.
A young woman stands on a hill, watching storm clouds break apart in the sky. Something is ending. She can feel it in her chest, though she cannot yet name it. Behind her lies a farmhouse where 3 generations have loved and suffered and searched for something the world never seemed to offer them. And above her, faint and trembling, a single arc of colour begins to form across the grey sky. This is a story about the hunger inside every human heart, the hunger for something greater than the life we are given. In the flat green farmlands of England, there is a family called Branguin. For generations, they have worked this land, ploughing, harvesting, living by the rhythm of the seasons. Tom Branguin is a farmer, steady, quiet, a man of the soil. One day, he sees a woman walking along the road, a stranger, dark-haired, foreign, sad-eyed in a way he has never seen before. Her name is Lydia, a widow from Poland, carrying grief he cannot fully understand, and a small daughter at her side. Tom does not know why, but something in him reaches toward her.
I want you to marry me,
he tells her, plainly, the way a farmer speaks of the weather. Lydia studies him for a long moment.
You do not know me.
I know enough.
I know what I feel.
She says yes, and together they build a marriage out of 2 separate worlds, learning slowly, painfully, how to truly see one another. Their daughter, Anna, grows up between them, caught in the quiet distance that never fully closes between her mother and stepfather. Anna grows restless. She wants more than the farm, more than the fields. She wants to feel alive in a way she cannot describe. She meets a young man named Will, an artist's soul, drawn to churches and carvings and the beauty of old things. They fall in love quickly, perhaps too quickly.
I feel like I could belong to you completely.
Anna tells him one evening, standing close. But marriage, once it begins, reveals what courtship hides. Will wants Anna's soul entirely. Anna wants her own freedom too. And between these 2 wants, a quiet battle begins, one that will last for years. From this marriage, a daughter is born, a girl with sharp eyes and a restless spirit, and a hunger even greater than her mother's. Her name is Ursula, and it is Ursula who will carry this family's search for meaning further than any of them ever dared. As a young girl, Ursula watches her parents' marriage, the quiet compromises, the small surrenders of self, the way her mother's fire dims year after year beneath the weight of duty. Ursula makes herself a quiet promise. She will not surrender that easily. She does not yet know what that promise will cost her. Ursula grows into a young woman, full of questions the world around her cannot answer. She wants to study. She wants to work. She wants a life that belongs entirely to her, not one built only around a husband and a household. This wish is dangerous for a woman of her time.
Why can't I want more?
She asks her mother one evening, frustration trembling in her voice.
Wanting more does not always mean receiving more. I know, but I can't help feeling that way.
But Ursula refuses to believe this. She becomes a teacher, stepping into a classroom full of restless children, discovering quickly that even independence carries its own kind of exhaustion. Then she meets Anton Skrebensky, a young soldier, confident and charming, offering her a version of love that feels, at first, like freedom.
Come away with me. Let me give you the world.
For a while, Ursula believes he might be able to. But as their relationship deepens, she begins to sense the same old pattern creeping back. Anton wants a wife who will fold neatly into his ambitions. He wants devotion not equality.
I need you to belong to me.
His voice suddenly firmer, less like a promise and more like a demand. Something inside Ursula goes cold.
I cannot belong to anyone until I first belong to myself.
The words surprise even her as she says them. Anton does not understand. He leaves for his military post overseas, wounded by her refusal, unable to grasp a love that will not simply surrender itself to him. Ursula is left alone again, independent but exhausted, free but uncertain what freedom is even for. She grows ill for a time, her body worn thin by grief and searching. In her weakest moments, she wonders if she has sacrificed love for nothing, if her hunger for something greater will ever be satisfied by anything at all. Slowly, quietly, she begins to heal. Not by finding someone to complete her, but by rediscovering the strength that has always lived quietly inside her, the same fire her mother once carried, and her grandmother before that. She walks through the fields near her family's old farmhouse, breathing the cold, clean air, feeling something inside her settle for the first time in months. She does not yet know what her future holds, but she no longer feels the need to grip it so tightly, or bend herself into someone else's shape just to hold on to love. Rain falls over the fields one afternoon, sudden and heavy, the way early spring storms often arrive. Ursula stands at her window, watching horses run wild and frightened through the wet grass, feeling a strange kinship with their untamed movement. When the storm passes, the sky clears into something unexpected. A rainbow stretches slowly across the horizon, wide and glowing, arching over the fields her family has worked for generations. Ursula watches it in silence. "There will be a new world," she whispers to herself, remembering, faintly, an old promise her grandmother once made to her grandfather, long before Ursula was ever born.
A world made of people who are not afraid to be whole.
She does not know exactly what her future holds. She does not have a husband or a fixed plan or a comfortable certainty to rest inside. But she has herself, fully, and for the first time, without apology. She thinks of her mother, worn down by duty. She thinks of her grandmother, Lydia, who crossed oceans of grief just to be truly seen by another person. She thinks of every woman in her family who quietly bent themselves smaller just to fit inside the lives they were given. And she decides, standing there beneath the fading rainbow, that her life will be different. Not because she has all the answers, but because she has finally stopped waiting for someone else to give them to her. The rainbow fades slowly into the grey afternoon sky, the way all beautiful, fleeting things eventually do. But something in Ursula remains, steady and unshaken, long after the colours disappear. This is where her story pauses. Not an ending, but the quiet beginning of everything still to come. Here is what this story teaches us. True freedom is not given to us by another person. It is something we must first find within ourselves. And sometimes, the most courageous thing we can do is to keep believing in a better world, even before we can fully see it. If this story touched something inside you, if it made you pause and reflect, then don't scroll away just yet. Hit that subscribe button, tap the light icon, and join us for more powerful stories like this one. Because every story deserves to be heard. See you in the next one.